No, it felt great. Yeah, just with the atmosphere and then the noise, being able to kind of hush the crowd. I think it's better playing on the road and being able to hush the crowd rather than having your fans. I mean, sometimes it's fun just being able to silence the crowd.
What's it been like for you these last 3 or 4 games, kind of finding the role? And there was like a question about the shoulder and stuff, but to now to have your role and kind of be able to make an impact coming off the bench, what's that been like for you?
Yeah, no, I think just the mental clarity of just accepting like my shoulder is what it is was a big part for me. And just be able to do whatever I can for this team to help us win, whether it's come off the bench and just being a good teammate or having a night like the other night, just trying to help this team.
Why do you think this team is good on the road? You guys are 4-0 in the conference. I know it's a home game coming up, but just in general, it looks like you guys have fared better on the road than other teams in the league.
Yeah, no, I think it's just how close we are as a team. You got to be close as a unit to win on the road. We got to limit teams' runs. I think this team does a good job of limiting runs and staying together. And if the other team goes on a quick run, we don't come down and take a bad shot. We just come together. We're a veteran team. We know what it takes to win on the road, and we're doing a good job with it.
The rhythm you're in right now, I mean, nothing's a substitute for actually playing, you know? You feel like you're in a better position right now just with your comfort level on the floor?
Yeah, and I feel like my headspace is in a lot better. That's the biggest thing. But I am getting more comfortable and just accepting what it is.
So what changed after that? I guess it was after the San Jose game, I think, where kind of Leon came out and mentioned it. Were you thinking about getting surgery and shutting it down, or I mean, how are you? But what is actually going on with the shoulder?
Yeah, no. So it kind of dates back to like KU. I injured my shoulder, separated it. I had two options: either get the surgery right then or try and rehab it and come back that season. I tried rehabbing it, still hurting me, bothering me. So they told me, hey, medical red shirt. We'll keep rehabbing it. It'll take about 8 months post injury, and all the pain will go away. So I came to Boise thinking like, okay, my shoulder's still bothering me, but 8 months, I'm gonna be good. Like just keep playing through it. After the Canada trip, went to and saw a doctor in Boise, and he's like, you need surgery on your shoulder. But it was a situation where if I had the surgery then, I was going to miss part of the season. So it's one of the things I just had to deal with it. It continued to get worse and worse, obviously. So after that game, I did meet with doctors again, and my biggest concern was with my shoulder getting worse, being able to fix it one day. And being able to talk with the doctors and getting a lot of clarity that they'll be able to fix it after the season. And just being able to play through and be there for my teammates was the biggest thing.
So what does it limit you from doing? Other than just pain, like what is actually not allowing you to do?
Yeah, just like range of motion. A big thing is like catching balls. Like anything overhead really bothers me. Just the quick movements, but and it's just the things I can do. It's just not what I was before, and so that bothers you mentally just as much as physically. When you know as an athlete you can do something, but your body's kind of not letting you do it. So it gets pretty frustrating, but I'm in a good place with it right now.
What did it take you through this? I mean, seventh year, like you figured this is going to be the grand finale, right? And like, it just probably isn't quite what you envisioned. So like, how did you just kind of mentally get through this? What you had to get through?
It was super frustrating at first, just because I went through a lot to get here, and I finally got here. I'm like, man, I'm in a great situation. I'm with the coach that's letting me play free, that wants me to play how I could play, and my body just kind of isn't limiting me with that. But now I'm just looking at being whatever I can to help this team win. That means the most to me. So whether it's coming off the bench or just being a good teammate, I'm ready to do that.
I think the way Leon described it is like maybe one of your best attributes, your ability to shoot. It might be kind of limited right now, or certainly the volume of it at the very least. But it's emphasizing the fact that you have to find a way to be impactful in all your other areas of the game. So how much is this kind of learning and teaching you to grow, I guess?
For sure. I mean, it has limited my shooting, but it also limits my jump hooks, like anything. Like with that upward motion, it still doesn't feel quite natural as I did before. But like Leon said the other day, that he thinks I became a good defender, and I joked with him and told him if I played defense like this 2 years ago, I'd probably be making money somewhere. But it has changed my outlook a lot in basketball. I mean, I've always been the type of player where it's like I'm gonna go score more than the guy across from me, not hold him to less points, and it's helped add to my game a lot.
So when you go for a shot, does it hurt?
Some days are worse than others. It definitely doesn't feel natural. It feels like some kind of catching, clicking sometimes, and some days it'll feel. But I know if you look at the before and after injury of my form and stuff, I mean, it's night and day. You can tell.
I've been impressed with your passing this year. You do a nice job passing out of the post. So why do you think you've been very successful getting assists and passing?
I think it's just I've always had a good feel for the game, playing slow and controlled, and just seeing the whole floor is a big part of it. And my teammates are doing a good job of making shots and being in the right spots so I can make the easy pass.
For you, like, look, I'm assuming you can't just go get up 300 shots at practice today, like with the way your shoulder is. Like, so how has it changed how you approach?
Oh, it's been a huge change. I mean, my whole career I got to where I was because I outworked everybody. Whether it was getting 300 shots, 400 shots every single day, to now, I mean, honest, I can't even go shoot 50 shots without my shoulder starting to bother me. So it was a big thing, like not playing great, and you want to go work on your game and be in the gym, but it's like that doesn't help with the injury, and so it was a hard mix for me for a while dealing with that.
What about just one to like show you, yeah, your shoulder hurts, but you can still contribute when you're out there. Maybe you can't shoot the way you did in the past or whatever, but just what do you, in terms of showing you can still help the team even at less than 100%? I mean, was that easy to show them that you can still do that, or how have you kind of worked through wanting to produce but knowing you're not at 100%?
Yeah, no, like I said, just trying to win. Whether that's I go out there and get 5 rebounds, and we keep stats on efficiency on rebounding, like just not even getting rebounds, just boxing out, and it's been a goal of mine to be above 85%. And I think the last 4 games I've been above 85% offensively and defensively rebounding. So just doing the little things. Whether that's being a leader and helping in timeouts, giving guys pointers. 'Cause I do have a lot of experience and seen a lot of games, but just trying to help his team win the conference championship.
Max was having that shooting slump. He comes out the other night and puts up 35 in a place like the Pit. What does that say about Max?
That says a lot, because I've been in his shoes at KU, and you see all the tweets and you see the people being negative, and I mean, you love this game, and as a competitor, you want to go out there and prove people wrong. So I think it was big for him, and it shows his character and resilience, and I'm super happy for him to go out there and have a big day because he deserved it.
Max is a 6-year guy. You're a 7th-year guy. Is there one thing about Max where you look at him and go, yeah, he's definitely a veteran. He's a seasoned guy.
Yeah, no, just his leadership, and like in practice and in the game, he's very vocal. He's smart player, sees the whole floor, and he's been in the system for so long, so he helps. Like, we run a play and stuff, and he's telling guys where to be and what to do, and just makes a lot of winning plays. Just a winner.
What's it like for him to hit one of those deep threes? I mean, he'll shoot one from any side of the court. It seems like. I mean, does that kind of give a lift to the rest of the roster?
Yeah, no. When he's making shots like that, I mean, it takes his team to a whole nother level. Now, I don't know if he can make them every single game. I hope he does, but he hit some tough shots against New Mexico and made some big time plays and won us that game.
I apologize if you already touched on this before I got in, but just kind of how comfortable are you starting to get with your role, now with this team?
Yeah, no. I'm getting very comfortable with it. I'm just trying to do whatever I can to help us win. That's my biggest part of my role, whether it's Omar and Tyson getting foul trouble and I need to have a bigger night, or just go in for a shorter time, give them guys a quick break, and do my job. I'm in rebounding, scoring, and defending. So I'm getting super comfortable with my role.
What have been the keys to kind of getting efficient minutes for you, Ben?
Yeah, like me and Coach Rice talked about, the biggest thing for me is just going in. He wants me to be a great rebounder, great defender, and let the rest take care of itself.
What do you think of Air Force? Obviously, had that crazy win against UNLV, but otherwise, have struggled a little bit. What do you think of the team coming in tomorrow?
I mean, they're a good team. You know what you're going to get with Air Force. They're not a team really that's really high games, really low games. They're consistent. They're going to come in and have a good game plan. They're going to do a lot of back doors. They're going to make you guard for the full shot clock. So we got to be dialed in, and we're not taking them lightly.
Coming off this win the other night, you know what you got coming up next week. How do you kind of make sure this isn't kind of any kind of letdown game or whatever?
Yeah, we got to come out with energy from the jump. We had a pretty light practice yesterday, but we're going to get after it today. So, the game against New Mexico means nothing if we don't take care of business tomorrow. So we just got to come in with that mindset.
You mentioned Coach Rice wants you to be a great rebounder and a great defender. What does it take to be a great defender?
I think it just takes being dialed in and locked in, and that's not even guarding my man. Just being a great help defender, being a great communicator. That's a big thing we talked about. He wants me to I see the game well, just to communicate and help other guys and bring them along too.
In the past, have you kind of focused more on the offense, or were you kind of, at previous stops, did you kind of pride yourself on your defense as well?
No, so when I was at Missouri Southern, my head coach had talked with me one day, and he told me, because there's like a foul issue. I get some games where I get in foul trouble, and he's like, "Look, let your guys score 10 points because you're gonna go score 30." So he's like, "Don't even worry about your defense. If you got to give up some buckets, I mean, who cares? Just make sure you don't foul and stay in the game."
How weird is that kind of adjusting now, where Coach Rice is probably more like, hey, make sure play defense first, and worry about the points later.
The biggest adjustment was going to KU because I think Coach Self could care less if I scored 2 points. All he cares about is defense. But with Coach Rice too, we value defense, and Bernie's done a great job staying on me. Probably give him the most credit with my defense. I've never had a coach me so hard defensively and hold me to the standard he does. So I really appreciate him.
You talked a little bit about Air Force and what they do on offense. I mean, their tempo is so slow, and I know they're not a great offensive rebounding team, but if they were to get one, I mean, you might be on the defensive end of the floor for a full minute at times. So like, just how much different are they? Is the prep for them and what they do to maybe what you just saw from like New Mexico?
I mean, yeah, it's a huge jump. I mean, I think New Mexico, like last 4 or 5 games, they're averaging almost 90 points, or around 90 points, and then you got turn around to Air Force, and they said yesterday is like the 360 slowest offense in the college basketball. So I mean, it's a big jump for us, but we just got to go out there and play our game, stick to our principles, and play how we play.
More about Max, like the New Mexico on defense, they want to like disrupt you guys, obviously, right? And like his ability to kind of go maybe off script, if you will, and go get a bucket, like as a guy a scorer yourself. How much fun is that when you get into a little bit of a rhythm, I suppose?
It was great. No, he did a good job too using the shot fake. Them guys were trying to run him off the 3-point line, so he did a good job of using the shot fake, getting them off their feet, or they're sidestepping, or the one where he shot faked and then shot the one from his hip and went in. But he did a great job of being disciplined, because that was a big thing for us going into that game is shot faking them and making them guard.
You've been on a lot of teams. What's your favorite thing about this team?
Favorite thing about this team, I think it'd be our togetherness, especially on these road trips. It takes all 30 guys. It takes a team to go somewhere on the road. It's hard to win on the road. I don't care what level you're at. So I think it shows a lot about this team. We had a tough game against Utah State, and we were all pretty down. And I mean, we could have went to New Mexico and still felt sorry for ourselves and had another one slip away. But we went. We were tough, and we were a veteran group, and we went and took care of business on the road.
What's your take on Omar? I know you guys kind of like you obviously play a similar spot. We're in a battle for minutes, and that's kind of a little bit undecided. But it seems like you two still talk a lot, or whatever you can tell during games and things like that. And I mean, his effort and energy at times in that New Mexico game was probably overlooked due to the kid scoring 35. But just what's your take on Omar?
No, Omar's a great player. Boise State got lucky. I don't know what his situation was like at St. John's, but they got super lucky getting Omar here. Great teammate, even better person. So I'm super happy for all his success, and excited for all his success in the future.
Is there a difference when you're playing with Omar on the floor than playing with Tyson? I mean, all three of you are different. You've got different skill sets, but do you do different things? Different things asked of you depending on who you're playing with?
Yeah, no, it's definitely a lot different for me versus who I'm on the floor with. Because if I'm with Omar, I'm obviously at the floor, and we run a lot of different plays. So I got to kind of flip that switch to play more like a guard and think less like a post player. Versus when Tyson's back in the game, then I'm right back to like the center spot. So it is, I say more of a mentally switch with our plays and stuff like that.
One more for me, that's just when you come off the bench, Cam, like what is the difference between you being there from the opening jump, feeling that initial energy, to having to go from 0 to 100 in a hurry and get into the flow of the game?
Yeah, there's pros and cons with it for sure. You kind of get to see like how the game's going, you usually watch the scouts of our players, but you kind of get to see them play. But then you also get the fact they're just sitting there and cooling off, not knowing when you're going to go in or when not. So there's definitely pros and cons with that.
Going back to Max for a second, what's he like off the court? Is he talkative? Is he quiet? What's he like?
Yeah, no, I probably hang out with Max more than anybody off the court. Just a great dude. We're both veterans and both older, so we're kind of different than the younger guys. But I really enjoy hanging out with him off the court, and we do a lot of things together.
So you guys clicked? Did you guys click right away when you got here?
Yeah, from the jump, yeah.
He obviously grew up in a basketball household. Is it just basketball all the time? Is that what you guys talk about? What you guys watch all the time?
No, it is basketball. It's a lot of sports. We watch a lot of sports, and on these road trips, we went to Canada. We both like playing the cards, so we go play some blackjack, stuff like that. We talk about maybe a postseason Vegas trip one of these times, but yeah, no, we both. It's a lot of sports and stuff.
This team has a lot of guys who can score and pick up for when someone else has an off night. One guy who really hasn't had an off night, at least in Mountain West play, is Buzo. What's his consistency been like for you guys?
You know, Buzo's been big offensively and defensively. You know, he usually guards the best player, if not one of the best players, and takes a tough assignment. And then, I mean, he's been shooting the ball terrific all year. So he's very important to this team. He's been very consistent. So yeah, he's had a great year.
Bob mentioned your passing earlier. I mean, you have had some impressive passes this year. At your size, I can't imagine you ever ran point. You know, so where does that come from?
Yeah, no. You know, I think the biggest thing is when I was at Missouri Southern and I was shooting 45% from three, a lot of teams started running me off the line. And so when you're shooting at that higher percentage, put on the floor as a big guy, you got to make plays and see the whole floor. So I think just being able to develop that and playing off my shot fake and driving and finding the open guy helped me out a lot.